Hey y'all, let me ask you something. Do you feel like you are running your business or your business is running you? I am Mandisa Jones. I am founder and CEO of Ashé Counseling, and I am here to share tips and tools for wellness practice owners to grow and scale their practices. I get it, you're doing powerful healing work, but your bank account, your energy level, and your overall job satisfaction does not reflect that. And I've been there too. One of the things that I love is to read. And I think that is one of the most impactful things that you could do as a business owner is to become a lifelong learner. I found 4 books that I would like to share with you today that completely shifted my mindset and how I approach my business. These books gave me the mindset, structure, and clarity that I didn't even know was missing. I'm also sharing one bonus book that helped me stop playing small and finally feel safe with visibility, more success, and more income. So if you're a wellness entrepreneur or entrepreneur in general, this video is for you. Okay, so let's talk about the E-Myth Revisited. This book should be required reading for every wellness entrepreneur. Michael Gerber explains why so many businesses fail. And it's not because the practitioner isn't talented. It's because we build businesses based on our skill set. Most of us start off as technicians, which means that you were a great therapist. You were a great yoga instructor. You are a great dentist. But we never step into the role of manager and visionary. And reading this book made me feel grateful that I've always had this attitude but didn't quite put it like he said it. I've always said that I was a better business owner than therapist, because at the end of the day, you do need to work on the business. And I see this when I'm coaching and talk with other business owners. They focus more on the craft, especially in the therapy practice, getting more skills, getting more training in therapy, but not thinking about the business itself. For example, let's say you're a solo therapist and you go out on your own, you were in a group or an agency, and then you go to start your own therapy practice, and then you realize that you're doing the website, you're doing your billing, you're doing your marketing, you're doing your books, you're doing your intake, and that all leads to burnout because that's not what you expected to do when you are starting this business. This book helped me realize that being good at the work doesn't mean you know how to run a business. And that's okay. It's just time to build systems. After reading this book, I will say I refined some of my SOPs. We have tightened our intake. We look at more metrics because numbers do reflect what's going on in your practices. We've been able to identify bottlenecks and things that are not working for our clients and our staff. After reading this book, also, I began to start outsourcing more things. There's some things that I still love to do, like I love to do the website. I love to do some of the marketing. But then I realized that we need a cleaning service. That's not the best use of my time or our staff time cleaning the office. I outsourced more of the daily admin and data entry things because that's not the best use of my time as the CEO and founder. So whether you're starting out or scaling, the E-Myth helps you stop being your business and actually running one. So the second book that I would like to share is about releasing the guilt about making money and charging clients and aligning spirituality with making money. The book that I'm talking about is Spirit Means Business by Alan Cohen. Spirit Means Business is for anybody that feels guilty about charging for services, especially in the wellness space. There's a myth that if it is spiritual or healing, that it should be free or at least cheap. And I always say this, I think in the social work program, it seems like we took a vow of poverty that the expectation as a social worker is not to make money. But Cohen dismantles that with love and truth. He reminds us that money is energy and businesses can be a spiritual practice done with integrity. He writes, the more good that you do, the more prosperity you are entitled to. Then that hit me. I used to undercharge and forego collecting co-pays and feel weird about collecting no-show fees and feeling weird about sending invoices. But this book really helped shift that mindset for me because I realized that charging fairly is an act of respect for myself and the clients. One of my favorite thoughts that came out of this book is that your income can grow in direct proportion to your alignment, not your hustle. And I know that this gets really sticky for people, but as you continue to have more money and more prosperity, the more that you can give and do good to the world. And you can't pour from an empty cup. One of my favorite quotes from Reverend Ike is that the best way to help poor people is not become one of them. How can I help my family? How can I help my community? How can I put what I would like to see out into the world if I'm also struggling financially and can't support myself? This book is a good one to help you with that mindset shift. Okay, so book number 3. And by the way, these are not in any particular order. This book may seem like a curveball, doesn't really fit, but you'll be surprised. The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco was really a wake-up call. I read this book right before I started Ashé Counseling, and this book kicked this into gear for me to go ahead and make that leap to start this business. MJ DeMarco lays out the difference between the slow lane, trading time for money, and the fast lane, where you build assets that scale and grow and work for you. As wellness entrepreneurs, we often find ourselves in that slow lane without realizing it. You can only see so many clients a day. Your income is tied to energy and time. This is where this book has pushed me to think bigger and expand to group practice and other service offerings where it's not just me trading time. It pushed me to think bigger about what we can be as a group practice and the things that we can offer beyond just one-to-one clinical sessions. It also helps me think about scaling without burnout. When we scale, that means just doing more, and that we only have so much time in the day. So the key lessons is, if you want financial freedom, you need leverage, not more hustle. Let's talk about book number 4, Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller. OMG. This book has really helped me clarify my message as a business owner, and almost everything that I do goes back to this framework that Donald Miller shares in this book. It's all about marketing, which I know a lot of wellness entrepreneurs struggle with. I used to believe that if we just show up, that we will get clients and just book, because we know that there's not that many therapists, especially if we offer a diverse group of clinicians, that we just put our stuff out there and boom, we'll get full. That's no longer the case anymore. As therapists, especially depending on the market that you're in, there can be a lot of saturation, especially with these corporations coming in with therapy practice. They flood the Google, like you try to get Google ads and they flood that space. So you no longer could just put your picture up there and get clients. Like, there is more work that you need to do. You don't understand the difference. Your clarity of your message, of your website, your social media, anything that you're putting out, how that impacts if clients want to work with you. And in this book, Donald Miller gives you a clear framework on how to convey that message. And it's simple and it's clear and it's results focused. This book will be your secret weapon if you're great at what you do but don't know how to share your message. I do have a bonus book to share. Without this book, I don't think I would be here today talking about this. Big Leap by Gay Hendrix. This book shifted my mindset and changed everything for me. He introduces the idea of the upper limit problem, where we unconsciously sabotage our own success when we reach certain levels of income and visibility. And this happens in every area of our lives. We have these subconscious beliefs that we could only be so happy, that we only deserve so much. And then when we go beyond those thresholds, we do something to bring it down. So he relates this to like a thermostat. So if it gets too hot in a room, the air is going to kick on to bring that temperature down. And so we subconsciously do something to bring us back down to that level that we believe that we should be at. And so this book helps you recognize those patterns and their protective mechanisms, right? Trying to keep you safe in your comfort zone, because anything outside of that is scary and unknown. And we would rather be comfortable of what we do know, even if it's not the best, versus venturing out into the unknown. That's our prehistoric brain kicking in. Hendrix challenged us to move into your zone of genius. You may have heard this term. That's the space where your work feels energizing, expansive, and deeply aligned. If you keep hitting walls right when things are starting to work, this book will help you break through. So there you have it, 4 books plus the bonus that help transform the way I run my businesses, and one that transformed me. If any of these books resonated with you, please let me know in the comments. I love to hear your takeaways or what books help you grow personally and professionally. So if you want to dive deep into how to build a business that's both soul aligned and scalable, make sure you hit that subscribe button, because we're building wellness practices that work without the burnout. Your business can thrive. Let's make it happen.